Testing. This is annoying. Hello, can you hear me? Testing. I don't understand why Streamlabs and YouTube don't just, work with one another. It'd be really cool if they just worked. So I guess I need to post the new link. Because apparently one cannot just simply have nice things. That is really annoying. Okay, well, I think I know how to fix it for next time. Maybe. I don't know. Why can't it just be intuitive? Well, it is what it is. Who did I don't remember. Where did I send this link? I don't know where I should send this link. Oh my goodness, it's Homer. Okay, let's see. Bam. Can you see that? Wow. Hello, Ableton. At least you are somewhat competent. I have never once on Anura or JPR had just a normal stream where nothing went wrong. It has always been chaos. At least this time I have a computer that's actually functioning and won't try and die if I do literally anything. Why does the chat box look like that? Why is your name all messed up? What did I do? How do I fix that? Okay, there's some people joining. There's some people joining. Got Alien loaded up because it just felt obvious to start with, you know, the start. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy, right? How's my volume? Is my volume good? Am I too loud? Too quiet? Oh, I see what's happening with your chat. Okay, that's the it's Ableton being okay. Let me just give it a background. Maybe. Hello? Can I not give it a background? All right. Nope. Okay, cool. Thanks, Streamlabs. Very cool. Love to hear it, Neeb. I hope you get that out of your teeth. Lol. Why did I do that? Okay. Oh, that's cool. Wait. I'm experimenting with all the Ko-Fi things I can add, because Ko-Fi kind of cool sometimes. Eyes emoji. Okay, browser. New source. Hello. Oh, hello, Streamlabs. Okay. Gonna send a test widget. Nobody's actually donating to me right now. So, just for the record, I'm just testing something. And test. Yay! Why is it cropped like that? Oh, and there's a bot. Hello, Ko-Fi bot. Why is it? Why? Let's try again. How's this? No, it's still cut off. Okay, it's just gonna be thanks for, I guess. Thank you for the support, someone. So true, Ko-Fi bot. So true. Does it? On my end, it looks like it's just cut. Like, it just says thanks for. And then, no, it's supposed to say thanks for the support. But you know what? Thanks for, just straight up thanks for is kind of funny. So, who even cares? Okay, oh, we got 7 people watching now. Wow. Making some movement. Let's get right into it, I guess. Before I get started with Alien, you know, the titular Alien, any questions just beforehand? Y'all are welcome to send questions throughout the stream, but want to see if there's anything I can answer before I get right into it. So Doesn't seem like it so far. Alright, let's jump right into it, I guess. What more is left to do? Okay. Okay, so my general idea for this stream, I want to show my production. Of course, that's like the whole shtick. But I want to show off some of the things that I did without like teasing too much about the album and about like secrets in the album, because there are plenty. There are. Oh my god. Sure, why not? Thank you. You. Okay. Cause there's a lot of secrets and like little things that I put in here that I don't want to give away. I feel like I want people to discover things. I want people to find things out and like listen to it and like analyze it. So yeah, I don't want to go too overboard with this. So okay. First of all, most importantly, can you hear this?
Entry 1. Intruder.
Can you hear this tune? And is it too quiet? Okay, cool. Wait. Neeb, turn up your volume if you can't hear it. Okay. There's a lot to get into. This one, okay. I don't remember specific day I started this one. Obviously, I'm fairly certain, if I recall correctly, this was the first song that I worked on for the album, followed soon by Keep Pushing Through, because you know I hate working on things in order, so I worked on the beginning and the end first, and then did everything else after. I made Xterra and Mothership literally like a month before I was planning on releasing it. So, you know, my workflow is not model. The general rule of thumb, never model your workflow off of mine, because then you'll just be doing everything last minute. I should have taken a Tylenol. Shoot. I'll be right back. Give me like 1 minute. Okay. I'll be right back. I have returned. Also, yeah, that's through. I mean, through. That's through. That's true. Yes. I also have a tendency to rush things either at the very beginning or very last minute. I never pace myself like ever, and the only times I do pace myself is when I procrastinate. So clearly I'm just, you know, I am a model artist. If you're not doing it like me, you're doing it wrong. That's a lie. Don't do it like me. It's a surefire way to stress yourself out. Okay, any other stream things that are being weird? Doesn't seem like it. Okay, I guess that's enough stalling. Let's get this show on the road. Woohoo!
Entry 1. Intruder.
We got these,
Entry 1.
the entries, which, you know, they're a pretty heavy theme in the album. I feel like this is kind of like there's that, like, keeping a journal entry, log date, whatever is like the most stereotypical sci-fi protagonist thing ever. Like whenever there's some space person, they're like on a ship and they're on figuring stuff out, they keep a journal log, right? I wanted to do something like that. There is something in common with all of the entry names, but to what I will not say. This is just me pitched up. I feel like that's pretty obvious. Most of the album is just me pitched up. Like
Entry 1, Intruder.
I recorded that ages ago, so it's I do sound a little different, both because my voice has changed a bit, and because, you know, I record things different. I don't know. Regardless, I just have some compression, some bit crush, and radio filter. That's about it. It's nothing crazy.
Entry 1. Intruder.
But now, let's get into the sauce. Chord progression was the first thing I ever wrote for Alienus, because gotta start somewhere, you know. This instrument, actually, you'll see, it's a free e-piano. It's a rare groove piano from Spitfire Labs. I use this instrument in particular very intentionally in many, many songs on the album, as a way to connect them. And you might notice it if you have a keen ear, but I wanted this intro to sound kind of like 80s synthy. Like I don't exactly know like what I mean by that, but I wanted it to sound like you were listening to something on a VHS, kind of. Like I wanted it to sound like you were watching some sort of commercial or music video or whatever, just on VHS or on like MTV on cable or whatnot. So everything is very filtered, you know, because audio quality was not the best back then. Up here we got the piano. I think this is okay, this is tape piano, and this one's a serum pluck. Oh no, this one I made this is just a sine wave. Kind of acts like a theremin, because, you know, aliens, you gotta have a theremin. Which, that's another thing, if you have a keen ear, I use a lot. Many of the songs have like a synthesized theremin in it, because, you know, it's an album about, you know, an alien girl in a human world. Yearning for the galaxy. Okay, sorry. Not gonna do that the entire time. There's no bass at this section. I just added some bass notes in the piano because it sounds like a synth already. It's got some like nice built-in quality, or lack thereof, I guess. There's Olivia, the goat. I mostly let her direct herself for her parts on this song, because she is a genius and I trusted her intuition. And that was for good reason, because oh my goodness, Olivia, this is beautiful. When she showed me like this recording and whatnot, which, fun fact, is not where I intentionally planned for her to be in the song, but you know, she killed it, so I kept it. I was like, that I need to use this. This is incredible. Can you also do your actual verse? So she is on 2 parts of the song, not intentionally, but you know what? Sometimes spur of the moment things are the best things. But I used this sample in particular for the trailer as well. I mean, the whole intro, basically, because, you know, it seemed fitting. This, if I had a chance to re-record this intro and this outro, I would. It is not my best work. I'm pretty sure mildly ill, very tired, and I don't know, the writing for this part just feels a little out of place. But all of this later stuff, later, obviously, I actually, for the longest time, I finished this instrumental, I think, before any of the others, but it was one of the last songs to receive a full set of vocals, because, you know, I was really struggling to figure out how to put vocals over this. Which, speaking of the instrumentals, I won't say much, but just know they are planned to be released on their own. Ooh. So, you instrumental enjoyers who just want to listen to the instrumentals without my goofy vocals, you can. What sample? Oh, Olivia, your messages. Oh, I see. Yes, all of the instrumentals are going to be released. Every single one of them. I already have 5 of them exported and mastered just to be like instrumental. So you mean this? That's me. This was part of the instrumental the whole time. I don't even remember exactly how I made this. I recorded myself, you know, just feeling like an alien, I'm trying to find my way back home, and then I pitched it up a little bit and like chopped it up and turned it into vocal chops, and then just add some effect over it. So this is, I did actually export this as its own loop if you would like it. If you want to use it in something. I don't know what you would use it in, but you are more than welcome to. But I got a stack of samples here. I got a lot going on. Here's all the sampled stuff together. We got sand blocks, because, you know, underrated percussion. Got some. This is just the top layer of a like psytrance drum loop. It's kind of silly, but if it works. Got some shakers. And then the drums. These are all just sampled from various things. I thought it was more fitting for this one to use snare rims as opposed to just full-on snares, because I felt like using actual full-on snares might be too harsh. Especially since this loop already has like a clap of sorts. So. We got this. Thank you, Cassie. It's true. Also, you're not supposed to be here. Get out of here. This bass, I don't remember which friend of mine. I might have been Cassie, actually. One of my friends extracted a bass from 911 by Tyler, the Creator, who I love. Tyler. Huge inspiration. No, maybe not so much present on the album, but he is an inspiration of mine generally. But this is one of the basses sampled from 911, and I just sort of messed around with it, put a little glide on it. Oh damn, really? Huh. Well, it's kind of lucky, I guess. Then almost all of my basses on this album are layered with a sub. Just because, sometimes you got like the nice timbre of the bass that you want, but it just doesn't hit all the bass frequencies that you want. So I tend to add a sub. This one I made custom using a triangle and sine wave and just, cut some of the high end. I think it turned out pretty good. We got this. This is literally, I kid you not, sampled fret noises from a guitar because I wanted it to sound like, I don't know, I wanted it to sound like someone was playing a guitar that just didn't exist. Like I wanted it to sound like an instrument that didn't exist. I think it was, yes. Like this obviously is sampled from an actual like Roland guitar, but doesn't sound real, obviously. But I added these fret noises because it almost, I don't know, it adds just that extra, it almost acts as a percussion, but it just adds that little extra thing that just, it works. It just works so well. And then we got a very heavily compressed, no release piano, as all the best musicians use. That pairs with the synth piano from the beginning. And this all. We got sine wave. It just adds like some counter melody, kind of. For the vocals, this is where the fun begins. I layer my vocals to hell and back, maybe not so much as other people or as much as I should, but for this one I had 2 sets of vocal tracks, one for like the beginning part, for the first like for the first, what am I trying to say, like parts. One does 2, it like swaps between them every 2 measures because I sing over myself, which it would make, if I ever performed any of these songs live, would make this very difficult to perform. But it sounds cool, so who cares?
I'm an alien, yearning for the galaxy, and I'm just trying to find somewhere to be. Feeling out of touch, think I've said too much.
Yeah. This uses a slightly outdated method of how I did vocals. Something like Xterra or Bounce has a much better vocal mix, like which I'm going to be using from here on out. That's much like cleaner, but I still like how these turned out. They're very warm and very wide. That is definitely what I like. I put a little bit of chorus on them just to widen them. I wanted these vocals super super wide. And then I have a vocoder. And this is vocoding the vocals to a silent sine wave that just mimics the, just has full, just plays all the way through. So that adds some nice, like it's really hard to hear it in the full mix, but if I turn it off, you can definitely hear it missing. Kind of, but it sounds cool. Who cares? Olivia's vocals are, I need to study how she does it, because she astonishes me. Her mic I think this might just be part of the way she sings, which is not an insult even remotely. I cannot sing for the life of me, but she has a very prominent S sound, which is not necessarily bad, but does cut through the mix a little bit. So I have a frequency cut around where it's the most prominent, and as well as a de-esser. And I'm glad, because it turned out so good. I say this with full certainty. I genuinely believe Olivia saved this album. Like, it was fine before, like the stuff I was making for it was all nice and dandy, but she genuinely like carried. It gave me so much motivation to continue this. So I am very, very thankful to have had her on this. Okay. I cannot spend an hour on a single song, because, you know, I'm only going to be here for so long. I'm going to eat sandwiches with my dad in a few hours, because, you know, dinner time exists, unfortunately. But this verse is really weird. Again, it's another one I rushed. I would absolutely re-record it if I had the chance. Maybe 10 years or so down the line, I can do a remaster. Who knows? Who cares? It turned out all right. But I actually had this melody written out for this, like, almost like a month or so after I made the instrumental, which Olivia and I talked a lot about where she would be in the song, and I'm very, very glad that we ended up putting her on the bridge, because she initially wanted to be on the verse, and I was like, I trusted her, and she's like, she had all these ideas for it, but I already had this melody written out. And like, given the chord progression of the bridge, I felt like she could do some good stuff with it. And I was right. But I literally just have a effectless instance of the piano, the intro piano thing. And that just so to help guide me. My eyes won't tell me what is real. Can't help but keep my face concealed. And something I do more often with my vocals than not is I layer the same melody twice, just for some variation, right? With some slight panning, just to like make it a little more distinct. My eyes won't tell me what is real. Can't help but keep my face concealed. Again, I'm not the best singer. This is also a little old, but here's something funny. This is pitched up an octave. Sounds absolutely ridiculous on its own. I think it adds some much needed frequencies to like keep this from being just too mellow and deep.
My eyes won't tell me.
Yeah. I double all the time. I do a lot of vocal doubling. And then
Can't help but keep my face concealed.
I only did one single track for the harmonies, but I put some chorus on it to make it feel a bit wider.
Can't help but keep my face concealed.
Definitely not the best example of my singing on this album. But, you know, we ball. Think that's just about all I have to say for this song. Olivia's verse, bro.
I bound to a hive this lonely. Someone to hold me can't be that hard to find. And I
Genuinely, one of my favorite parts from the album, period. This bridge alone, I think genuinely might just be some of the best of the album, just because she did so good. And this bridge is a little basic. Okay, yes, I can absolutely show the backing. There's this one which sort of like sweeps into it. Oh wait, I haven't muted. And it sounds so cool. Like, I don't even know how she did this. I don't know. Like, I want to figure out like what effects she used and whatnot. But
I bound to a hive this lonely. Someone to hold.
And then you got this second backing track that fades in over time.
They'll see hard to find, and I know they'll see better options.
It's heavenly. I don't know how. I see a very bright future for Olivia. Anyways, that's about all I have to say about Alien. It does a key change, you know. Nice and generic. All of these are just the exact same vocals as from down here, but up to a different key. Only reason why I put them on their own tracks is because I was too lazy to automate the key in the auto-tune plugin. So, yeah. Moving on, I suppose, let's go to Xterra, which I'm very excited to show off, because this, in my opinion, is one of the best songs on the album. I am very proud of my work for it, and glad people like it. So, give that a second as it's loading up. It'll probably take a second, because I have a very nice computer, but I also do a lot with my songs that eats away at my CPU. So, while this is loading, any questions thus far? Oh yeah, Bergatron and Mance, or George and Mance, huge props to them. They chipped in so much to get me this computer, and I don't even know that this album would have been possible without them, because some of the stuff that I do on, say, Mothership would have fried my laptop if I wasn't if I was still using that. I wouldn't have been able to be nearly as ambitious with this as I was, which, you know, the album still isn't like that ambitious, but still, I wouldn't have been able to do nearly as much stuff with this without it. So props to them. They're the goats. Okay, I believe Xterra is just about loaded. It's looking like that might be the case. There we go. Okay, this one, given a second to load, there's a lot that goes on here. First of all, thank you to Star for featuring on this song. Her part is so cool, and I'm very honored to have had her on it. Second of all, there is a lot going on in this song. It's not that many tracks, actually. Like, it's 37, which is still a decent number, but compared to some of the songs on this album, it's not that crazy, because a lot of it is just vocal tracks, because, you know, layering. This intro, if it wasn't obvious, is just the instrumental to Alien, the very ending of it specifically, in reverse, because I wanted to... Oh, it's reversing. I wanted to give the idea, because, like, this is, like... It is a little sped up, because Xterra is a lot faster than Alien is. But I wanted to, like, further emphasize, like, how the intro and the outro of Alien sound like a VHS recording, like a song on some VHS. You get the gist. I wanted to emphasize that, so I literally have sound effects of a cassette player, like, rewinding, because I want to like, let's, yeah. I don't need to explain all that. This loop is a custom loop that I made using all sorts of Foley. Pretty sure most of it comes from cymatics, funnily enough. But we got, like, yeah, you can hear it. Yeah. That's the loop that I made before I decided that Xterra should be in swing. So Xterra used to be in straight eighths, which is kind of funny to think about. So I got that loop.
Entry 2, newcomer.
This bass, stock Ableton, and it is gorgeous. I love this bass so much. So, bassline was the first thing I wrote for the song, which, you know, it's the bassline. It's obvious. And then I have a sub layered with it. What I'm doing for this is, instead of, you know, writing out all the MIDI for the sub, since it's literally just playing with the bass the entire time, I just have the MIDI fed in through the bass's MIDI. So it just does exactly what the normal bass does, and nothing more. The drums are from Contact, because it's Crim drums. Oh, I'm not sharing everything. Okay, you can't see it, but these drums come from a... Let me see, actually, can I change... See if I can just... I'm gonna add my entire display, actually. Jump scare. Okay. I think this should work. Let me just resize this. Gotta have that stream flair, you know? Okay. Hide the other one. Cool. That works. So now I can do this. Pop this open. Hooray! Okay, yeah. These are the drums that I use on this song. They're a little silly, and sound kind of silly unmixed, but if you mix them right, they do sound like really nice. They're a little iffy on this song, just because I suck at mixing drum kits, but
A strange new world, there's not a face I recognize.
turn off the vocals for a bit. I got some orchestra stuff, like some band stuff from Swam, or Swam, I don't know how it's pronounced. They've got a saxophone, an oboe, and I got a trumpet on here, so. I pair that with the trumpet, and the trumpet and the saxophone have like all sorts of duets. But then when you get to the verse, it's actually the oboe and the saxophone that have the duets. We got these Roland jazz scats, you know, if you listen to like Igor or I don't know, that's like my only example actually, but so there's a lot of stuff happening there. These 5 instruments mainly have the melody. You have the jazz scats kind of doing like a counter melody of sorts, and then these bells. That just follow the downbeats of all the chords, so. But because somehow 5 instruments wasn't enough to emphasize this melody, I also put it on the piano. So with all of that, you can actually hear the melody, because for some reason I could not get it listenable otherwise, which, you know, whatever, I guess. I do a lot of fun things with this piano, actually. Gotta have that piano slide, because... And... do you recognize this instrument? Yeah, it's the same alien piano. And I honestly, I don't know how... in full honesty, I don't know how I got this effect, but I love that it almost sounds like a rock song, like with guitars. I didn't, there are no guitars on this song. It is piano, piano, piano. I think this is a clav. Okay, actually, no, I do know why. This clav definitely is distorted like a guitar. But... we got strings, and funnily enough, these strings are from Serum, because Serum 2 is a completely viable, like, instrument, like, loader now, which is crazy, and also awesome. But here's all the chord stuff together. And then, I think this is, one of the funniest things that I did in this song. I have this like super synthy bass that kind of feels out of place with everything, but in a way, in the full mix, it sort of just sounds like it's distorting the original bass, which is exactly what I wanted. So if it works, I guess. This is a cool thing I do with the piano melody here. It's in it's playing triplets just with the swing. I didn't write it in triplets. I mean, I did, but I wrote it so it would sound like triplets while it's just following the swing pattern. So yeah, blues scale, my beloved. But these two, the saxophone, oboe, and piano sound like work together because the sax and oboe are playing fairly straight for the most part. And then the piano is doing its triplets, so they... in my opinion, contrast really nicely. And then we got, I think, in my opinion, the weakest bridge of the album. I'm pretty proud of the stuff that I did for the vocals for it, I guess. Again, it's another thing I'd re-record, given the opportunity. But, it's not the worst. Okay, moving on to what I think is actually the main event other than the bass of this song, the vocals. I am very proud of how I mixed the vocals for this song. Here they are. Here's all of my vocals together.
A strange new world, there's not a face I recognize.
And this is one of those cases, this is one of the songs where I used my new vocal mixing style. I have a gate on it, so it cuts out like all the unnecessary frequencies and whatnot. But then down here, I have, using my auto-tune plugins, a pitched down
a strange new world
melody. So
there's not a face I recognize.
So again, like with how deep it is, it also just sort of distorts the pre-existing melody. Like a lot of this, I'm using instruments, like other instruments or other tracks to make the existing tracks sound more distorted, which I think is a underappreciated mixing technique. Like you can get away with a lot just adding things as opposed to changing the existing things. Like obviously you don't want to go overboard with how many layers and everything you want, because sure, layering is nice, but you also should have the ability to do something simplistic. But having those layers at your disposal does give you,
I'm a coward,
like options. So again, this is another case where I have piano that the melody before I recorded it. But something different I did here, I have a second one for the harmonies, right? But on this second piano, I have my harmonies, the auto-tune on it is super, super aggressive, like maxed out. But it's drawing the MIDI from that piano, so which gives like these super robotic, almost like GLaDOS harmonies that I think works for this song in a way it wouldn't have on like any of the others. Oh, that's not supposed to. What happened there?
as you can see.
There we go. Ableton moment.
Like me as me. I know I don't fit, not a little bit.
But for this harmony as well, I also have the one that's down an octave to give it that extra little bit of whatever.
I know I don't fit, not a little bit, but I feel like I'm free.
And then I got, here's my friend Starx Rain, who is super cool, very cool voice actor and singer and all sorts of things. So I was super honored to have her on. Got her to record some haze for these like little ad libs. Okay, no. If I turn off notifications, that means don't give me notifications. Please. So anyways. Oh, the piano's still on. I wanted the verses and choruses to sound like super confident, and then the pre-chorus and bridge to yes, I can absolutely solo her voice once we get to that. But I wanted the pre-choruses in particular to sound like doubtful, like she's doubting herself and isn't even 100% sure if what she's saying is true, which, you know, it's not. She does want friends, and she is not comfortable with how she is right now. Like, mainly with that, as you can see, that's, you know, not a very confident thing to say sometimes. Anyways, conformity is boring. Fun fact, you some people may have noticed this melody for the second verse is actually almost like near identical to the melody of Fresh Start's vocals. The verses. Conformity is boring. Cause, you know, it's decent melody, and I wanted to things I'll do mine, there's nothing else I'd rather be doing. It just adds a further connection, I guess. For this one, I could not sing this low. I could not hit the that note. Cause because it's supposed to sound like she's extra. That's what I was trying to go for with the melody. My voice does not go that low, so I opted for just doing sort of harmonies, like at the very beginning. She's extra, look at Miss Extra. And I think it worked out. She's extra, look at Miss Extra, take a glance at her hilarity. Since this is all she's extra from another era, watch us turn my swap's polarity. She's extra, look at Miss Extra, why don't we all give some charity? Okay, that's about it for all of that. Now on to the final chorus, where Star comes in and steals the spotlight, and by that I mean I gave it to her because, you know, she's the coolest. But listen.
I don't need your validation. You don't need to know my situation.
She is so cool.
My life needs no salvation. I don't need to be anything.
So I originally recorded these parts, was like, nah, this doesn't sound good with me. I'm gonna have Star do it. So I did, and I am very glad that I did, because which, funny story, this hey 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 right here,
Hey, hey, hey!
is actually one of the temp recordings that I sent to her for this.
Hey, hey, hey!
But I was like, you know, it's not bad. I might use this somewhere, and I did, because she was already singing here. I wasn't. I just, you know, it just felt like a given. And then
Zoe, right?
the incredible voice of Scarlett, who voiced Nova, and I feel very, very sorry that I made her voice Nova, because if you listen to the album, it's not a very, it's not a brag, but I had her record a bunch of lines for the album last minute that I added here and there. And I'm glad, because that adds some extra context to Xterra that leads into Amare Informe, because Amare Informe is about loving and being really bad at it, you know, totally not based off of my life. None of this album, an artist using their art to vent their real life frustrations? No. Yeah. Anyways, Amare Informe. That's what we're moving on to next. Would you believe it? It's gonna take a while to load. I think at this point I might just have to share just Ableton, because I don't want to risk something like what just happened again. So this one shouldn't take too long to load. I think Amare Informe is one of the simpler songs on the album. You'll see why I say that momentarily, but thank you to my mother, who recorded the bridge for Amare Informe. She was super hesitant to at first. Like, she wanted to help out on it, because hello me. She's super supportive of me and my music. Both my parents are. I love them very much. But she also has wanted to do music things of her own and like featuring on songs with me for a while. So I was like, she also like loves bossa nova, and like one of her favorite artists is Loewe. And this isn't the most Loewe bossa nova ever, but it's still bossa nova nonetheless. So I was like, hey mom, you wanna feature on my album? And she was like, yes. So
Entry 3. Try.
there it is again. Actually, no, this is a different thing. Nope, it is not. It's the same piano. Yeah. This is the exact same piano from Alien and Xterra. So here it is again. I'm not kidding when I said it's all over the place in the album, but I have a huge tempo automation here right at the beginning. It goes up from 57 BPM, so very, very slow, and it ramps up to 87, which still quite slow, but it's played in double time, so it's more like it goes from 114 to doing the math, 174. So very fast. It gets very fast. Starts very not fast. So fun fact about that was not originally planned to be the melody of the chorus, which obviously it is now. You got, but that's mostly just because I ran out of ideas for what it would be instead, and this was already good. But originally this was just going to be the intro, and then everything else was going to be a lot different. But I ended up not going with that because it already sounded good, and why you don't need to fix what ain't broke, or however the saying goes. Here is, I believe this is just a stock Serum 2 lead that I messed around with a little bit. Now, I have been excited in particular to talk about this song because this song has like the nerdiest chord changes, in my opinion, that I've done on music in a while. Because, you know, the chord progression starts like standard bossa nova, right? And you would expect it to just do that again, right? But instead, after it repeats the first two chords, I modulate it up one note. And then I go back down here, technically. So, I don't know how I pulled that off. I was genuinely just fucking around until something worked. But it did, safe to say. I believe these strings are from the Toho sound font. Which, again, pretty dang good. Alright, and before I forget, thank you to the other friend of mine who featured on this song, whose name is Holden, who recorded some saxophone for me. Which I think, considering they do not have a very good instrument recording microphone, turned out very nice. And then I have a violin duetting that. And I have an acoustic upright bass from Trillion. Yeah, the saxophone is real. Again, more sand blocks. I actually think this is the exact same loop that I used on Alien, funnily enough. But then drums, these are all sampled. These are various samples that I have. A lot of percussion, again. Love maxing up the percussion. Yeah, basically just does that the entire song. Except for like right here, during the bridge. But it does mix it up slightly. Gotta sweep downwards in place of like a crash or anything like that, because I don't know, sounds nice. So I got fake guitar, I got a fake acoustic and a fake accordion. This one is from Sign Player, which is very cool. Definitely a great plugin. I'd check it out if you haven't already. It's free. Did I mention it's free? Jingle jingle, free, jingle jingle. Sorry. But all three of these just sort of play the same thing. Okay. This chord progression, I am really proud of this one. Cause you know, we've already established that we're in B minor from like the first bits. But then here we have a 6, 7, 1, but the 1 is major. It's a major 7. But then from the major 7, I go up a minor third, so we're back in the minor from this one chord. But then we take this one, back to the minor as the new tonic, and then crawl down that scale until we end up back in this, but with a dominant 7 instead of a major 7th. And then we get the 4th of that, which is a major 7th. So, and then from that major 7th, we use it, and we go up a minor 3rd from this predominant. No, we go up a minor 3rd from the predominant right here, which circles back to the beginning. So, I don't know what was going on in my brain when I wrote this chord progression, but I want it to happen again, because I don't know how I wrote this chord progression, but I'm so proud of it. And then the lead that I wrote to accompany it, I also super proud of. It feels very vacation-y. I don't know why. Which fits with like the Hollywood line, so you know, it just kind of works out. That's fuck around until it works is, I guess that's just my whole, that's my theory, that's my we got a 2-5-1, which would be a cadence at the end of a chord progression, but I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I used a 2-5-1 as the entire chord progression? And so I did, and it actually turned out pretty good. Because the 2 is a predominant, so it's basically just like, it's basically kind of doing something like this, but in the predominant to dominant to tonic. So if for any music theory knowers out there, you know what I'm yapping about, kind of, maybe. I care about you. And then I just kind of wanted this to sound like an internal monologue of sorts. So I just repurposed that idea of like the radio effect from like Alien. Because if the journal entries,
Entry 3.
which also have the radio effect, are her internal monologues, and she's not like actually doing journal. The songs are the journal entries. This is all happening in her head. The story isn't, obviously. The story is like actually happening to her, but the songs themselves are occurring within her head. So I wanted to, you know, juxtapose that into the vocals. And now that's her inner monologue. And then my mom comes in, and she, I kid you not, she spent several weeks practicing her part for this, was so nervous that she was gonna mess it up and she was gonna need to do like a billion takes. She sat down in my room and recorded this first try. Was like, cool, all right, and then walked out. So
You may not feel it like most do. Your heart will go where it wants to. There is no reason to feel blue.
And Amara Informe, if I recall correctly, is actually the first song that I added like all of the vocals to. This is the first song to get all of its vocals in the album. And as such, the mixing on them is not the best, but not the worst, I guess. And then again, this is just the chorus, but pitched up one. And then I did some very bland, boring, basic jazz scats, because, you know, why not? It seems fitting. I improv'd that whole ending. I did not plan any of that in advance. I just sort of recorded. And yeah, see this. Okay, you can't see it, but I'm getting an Ableton error that's saying the live set you are trying to say was created with a different version of live. This song is so old and so untouched that it hasn't been updated since Ableton 11. So, and I'm on Ableton 12 now. So yeah, it's definitely one of the oldest ones from the album. I sort of just made it and then called it good. But yeah, that's Amare Informe. I think one of the much simpler ones on the album overall. So, moving on to Atelophobia. This one I think has the least tracks of any of the songs in the album. I think, if I'm recalling correctly, like there's a bunch of vocal tracks, because, you know, I do all sorts of harmonies and like the key change and whatnot, but, Atelophobia is like what I was saying earlier. Sometimes you just need to be able to make something a bit more simplistic. Okay, I think Olivia's a little excited for this one, and also a little delayed on the stream. But yeah, no, this was the first song that I recorded guitar for, like my actual guitar. All of the electric guitar in Alienus is legit. I recorded it all. I learned, practiced, wrote everything, the actual electric guitars, with the exception of one song, but to protect the identity of who did it, because they wanted to opt out from being credited or whatever, which, I mean, yeah, to each their own. But they helped out on Watch Me. They did the guitar part for Watch Me, and they killed it. It is so epic, and I love it. So thank you. You know who you are. I will not say your name for your protection, because that's what you want. But yeah, every single electric guitar in this album is recorded on an actual guitar, which that doesn't seem that crazy generally for, you know, musicians who are on streaming and whatnot. But for me, who has lived like my entire life just doing everything with MIDI, that's a big step. I think my dad is home? Question mark? No, it's my neighbor's. Whatever, my dog. Shut up, dog. Just kidding. I love her. So, excluding all of these tracks of just vocal nonsense, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-ish total tracks of this song. And 4 of those 12 tracks is just guitar layers. So
Entry 4 excluded.
This was recorded on my old microphone, which you can tell because it was recorded in stereo. I don't know how, but I recorded this afterhand because I was like, oh shoot, I gotta put an entry number on this. I gotta include the entry number, because, you know, kind of bad idea to exclude a major plot point, like major theme of the album from a song. But I do think this song has some of my best like sound design and whatnot. We have these 2 guitars, which are the standard ones. By the way, I'm not the best guitarist. You might be able to tell, but there's a cut between those chords because I had to record these 3 and then move to this one and record it on its own because I am not the best guitarist, but I was so determined to record everything and it turned out okay. So who even cares? Who cares? I'm not authentic. I am myself. I'm authentically me. I'm just not authentically a guitarist. Okay, those are the main guitars, and then you might see I have 2 more layers. What are the layers, you may ask? We have this one, which is pitched up an octave with a flutter on it that like automates. And I think this really, with the other 2 guitars, gives it that sort of organ sound that I'm not sure. Like, it kind of sounds like there's an organ playing with it, which later on, you know, I heard that and I was like, oh, that's cool. So I did actually add an organ. But that wasn't until later, like much after I did this. And then, whoa, hello, why is that recording? The 4th and final guitar track is reversed chords, as you could probably tell from the waveform, but I basically just played this chord progression in backwards order with backwards rhythm. So I did short, long, long, long. And then I just played the chords backwards. And then I just reversed it. So now it's playing forwards and backwards at the same time. And it's really cool. So that's why the intro to this is literally just the guitar. Which, you know, it's a pretty common thing to do. I don't know why I'm saying it like it's a new and unique thing to do, but... we got this bass. It's just like a generic easy bass, electric bass. We got this synth bass from Roland. And funnily enough, they're sidechained. The basses are sidechained to the drums. So just because I wanted to bring out this kick is a little soft. I mean, it doesn't sound soft, but in the final mix it is. So I wanted to just make that a bit more prominent. This piano, I love how this piano turned out. Like, so I use that melody is definitely prominent. Yeah, very simple instrumental wise. Like, there's some top drums here. No, this is Sign Player. This is a Sign Player piano. Also free, but it's a felt piano from Sign. Piano company right there. I gotta say, my biggest inspirations for like the bass, especially on this song, definitely Thundercat and Steve Lacy. Huge fan of their music and their basses. So I okay, chorus is just the same thing. Verse is literally just the chorus with some missing things. It has a bass slide at the beginning. Because it's kind of fun to write things that don't have bass sometimes. You get easy bass from Tune Track. You buy it from Tune Track. Because because it's a good bass. I would recommend it. But then we get to the bridge, and this bridge, I think this might genuinely be one of the strongest bridges in the album. I don't know where this idea came from to do this, but again, it modulates to... I just use this chord and use it as like the starting, and then yeah, there's nothing too crazy happening here. It's pretty basic stuff, but just the pause there before it sweeps back in. Adds so much, and like even the piano coming in. Yeah, I don't know. You've heard the album. I don't need to explain all this to you. But thank you to my good friend Red Pansy, who helped me write the lyrics to the bridge, because I was struggling to make something that like that complemented that part, and he helped me with that, and I'm very thankful.
Every trace that I make feels like a mistake. I just can't erase
that line in particular. He helped me write. This part, I feel like doing this was just a bit too much and not necessary. However, going from that into the key change with the harmonies with Out of Time. I think was one of the best decisions I made, because that sounds so good. And again, I just do the same thing. Double the melody. And then I also doubled the harmony on this one, because I wanted it to sound more like a choir of sorts. And then I have the octave. So we got main melody, you got doubled melody, doubled harmony, and then an octave. And then I have... I didn't plan this. I improvised the harmony for this. It turned out so good. So, you know, maybe I should improvise things more often. Just a little basic. Just slowly moving from time. Okay, this. That was really fun to make. Basically, I took the first chord, like the first few bits of like the piano, and then basically went up. Actually, no, I think it's just the piano. I just took the intro of this piano, and I don't remember what, there's a flutter here. Okay, I put a flutter on master, right? But I also have a pitch automation, so it fades down. It's like sweeps down at the ending. Because, I don't know, thought it sounded cool. What's next? Fresh start? Am I thinking of that correctly? Guys, I totally know my own album. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, yes. Fresh start is next. Think we have time to do this one and maybe to get to know me. And then I think I'm going to have to end stream there. This might be a 2-part stream. So let's fresh start was fresh start was fun, and that's all I can say about it. It's pretty evidently inspired by Tyler the Creator, especially like Chromacopia and the more band orchestral parts of that, but what was I gonna say? I don't know. I think that's all I have to say about it. They're fun to make. Very band heavy. It's still loading. Sorry, I'm being so boring, but there's only so much you can do when you make giant songs and have to wait for those giant songs to load. Okay, Fresh Start, I do actually understand why this one is taking so long to load. Because this one has many tracks. This one has like so many audio files. Oh, hello me. This is another one I felt like was a bit weak. Like there's stuff that I'd redo if I had the chance. But you know, I overall turned out pretty good. I created a group of about 20 people that wanted to be a part of it. Of those, only 7 actually recorded, which is fine. 7 people is still more than enough for it to sound like a choir of people. But yeah. Okay. The drums.
Entry 5.
First of all, we have this, which funnily enough, I think this kind of reminds me of Soundscape, like the song Soundscape, like from the old YouTube videos where they wrote everything on Notepad and was like, hey guys, welcome to my tutorial and whatnot. Like, bow, bow, bow. I can't like actually, but this is a Kashmir sample. It's acoustic metal roll 01. This is what it sounds like not reversed. So I just reversed it, added some effects, pitched it down like a lot. Because if you pitch it back up, you'll be able to. Yeah, that's what it. Okay. Then we have like this faded that's just like breath. And then this, it's again another Kashmir sample. It's pretty good. Okay, these drums were the bane of my existence. And Kessie, I know you love them, but mixing them was a nightmare. We have 2 sets of marching snares. That I just have looped over and over on each other instead of like going their full pattern. And then I have a stadium like deep stomp that plays on their 3rd beat, which is a little awkward in a way that I think works. Then it sort of like swaps the traditional roles of the kick and snare and makes like the snares sound more like the bass line and the kick sound like the part with emphasis. So it's, and I delved further into that by adding a clap to the stomp. And then I added this percussion. And then huge impact with a bunch of like delay and whatnot. And all that come together sounds like this. Yeah, which sounds epic, which is what I was going for. The basses for this one are really weird and really not like how I usually do basses. You have this like deep sub synthy thing that I made by just taking by quantizing a triangle. Adding a saw to that. But then I also have an electric bass from Sine with no bass layered over it. So it's almost like a bass in a sub, but I'm more using the electric bass to accompany the sub, which is really weird and not something I usually do. But the sub fades in with a filter. So both of them do. So many vocal tracks. This brass is free. It's also it's probably very evident that it's Sticky inspired. This, I don't know what possessed me to make this, but it's just a sample of a weird piano with like bit crush and all sorts of effects and whatnot, and just super high. And then I have like a lower, almost like a counter melody, almost like a bass line underneath it. Kind of got both. And then the other two instruments are this fake guitar, not real, and this electric piano. And then another super distorted ambient lead. Okay, that's all for the beginning. Vocals for this beginning, not too proud of. Again, another one I'd remove. But the chorus is a bunch of people all together mixed up, and it sounds like a lot of people, which is exactly what I was going for. But this is a fresh start for me. So this is a fresh start for me. This one has a tubular bell playing with the you know, like where it has the crashes and whatnot. Just let me turn off these vocals. Just have the brass playing octaves of the melody. And some more strings. And then I use acoustic drums here. This lead, it's actually a stock Serum 1 preset. And the melody is kind of cool too. I'm pretty proud of the melody. It's pretty much just the melody from over here, but with a different start. Okay, and then over to here. I continue using the acoustic drums as well as these marching drums. Which is why it's so aggressive. And then here, not sure why, I use a hi-hat loop that's not present anywhere else. But if it works, then this ending. I do a similar thing that I do in Amara Informe, where I have the parallel major. So instead of being on A flat or G sharp minor, I go to major. And fun fact, really fun fact about this actually, this recording by Red is the first ever instance of
She's an alien, yearning for the galaxy.
That. So Red came up with what ended up being a huge motif in the album. So everybody say thank you, Red Pansy, the GOAT, for
Dropping the spear of green and blue, just wandering through the pigs and news, just wondering if there'll be a place for her. She's wondering if she will go seek anew. The thought of that will leave us innocent view, but the salty memories will.
I think this one has. Oh my God, Red! Thank you, Ghost. But yeah, no, this song has, I think, the most tracks of any on the album, mostly because of how many vocals there are for the chorus, at a whopping 58 tracks. 58 tracks, which is a lot, but still not as many as some people that I know use.
She's an alien, yearning for
So, thank you, Red Pansy, the GOAT. Okay. Yes, you did, Kessie. Sorry. But I will say, Red is a genius. Part of the reason why I used that is because it's just so well written, and also because the entire verse is loaded with, like, overanalyzation. Not over. It's loaded with like themes and idioms and whatnot, and it's genuinely it's poetry. It's literally just poetry. I love these people. I love the people that worked on this album. Okay, moving on to the one that will make Kessie cringe for no reason, but it might take a second to load because, again, a lot of recordings on this one, so. Taking a very long time. The chord progression that I wrote specifically for To Get to Know Me and Mothership, killed me. Like, genuinely, they were nightmarish to learn and record. So But yeah, I did it. I think mostly I did kind of have to speed it up at parts because, you know, again, I am not the greatest guitarist. I have zero formal training of how to play guitar. I'm entirely self-taught on that regard. So I was doing the best that I could with the resources I had, which were, you know, mashing multiple clips together until it sounded okay. This is taking exceptionally long. You were trying to prevent me from... There we go. Still loading. Okay. This song, I think the main inspiration musician-wise for this song absolutely underscores. I am a huge, huge fan of her and her music and her vocals and like everything. So if I ever got the chance to see her live, I would. If she ever somehow stumbles upon this video, I'm looking at you. That's my digital footprint for the day. Anyways, as such, main inspiration for this song, despite the fact that it's a lot more overprocessed and distorted than the song I'm about to relate it to, is Cops and Robbers. And the main part of that, I'm saying, is regarding this tape stop that I do. Which I do multiple times. So, let me turn off the vocals real quick to showcase some instrumental stuff. But this bass is from the Trillion collection again. Same collection that I used for Amari and Forme. So it's pretty broad. It's got some good stuff. And I do a trick that I learned from watching some of Underscore's streams, which is if you turn down the bit depth on a bit crush and keep the other stuff high, it adds like really nice fuzz almost. So I didn't want to spoil too much about the things that I do in this album, but I will say something cool about this song. There is not a single minor chord. If you're hearing something and you think it's a minor chord, given it's either suspended or diminished, there is not a single minor chord in this song. Which was a fun challenge for me, because almost everything that I write has minor chords. Because they're interesting. They're very cool. So this lead, I believe I made custom? No, okay. Oh, that's funny. It's the same lead that I used on, oh god, which one? Which song did I use this on? On one of the songs we previously covered, but this lead is great, and I did the same fuzz thing, made it super aggressive. And funny fact about this, shut up, Olivia. Fun fact about this lead, this whole big was all done on a pitch bend, because there's there's slide, there's slide on this lead, and I like the slide. There's portamento on this lead, and I like it. I didn't want to remove it for that part, so what I opted to instead was I did the whole thing on a pitch bend, cause why not? Got this organ here, which is inspired by like J-rock and whatnot, which uses a lot of like percussion organs and what, like, I mean, obviously like regular rock uses it too, 'cause that's why a rock organ exists, but mainly I did stuff inspired by J-rock for that. But got a synth here. It's just a super saw with some flanger. Those two sound very nice together. And then I have this pluck that's doing all sorts of arpeggiation using the same MIDI as those, so. And I also have this. Would you believe it? It's the same thing. It's the same alien piano. Whoa. But this one has an arpeggiator and is feeding MIDI in through this in polyrhythm to the rest of the beats, the rhythms. And then the guitar, which I'm really happy with how this guitar came out. Cassie showed me how to do this, but this is a roughly inspired. It's inspired by underscores. It's not one-to-one. It's like some. And then I sample Undertale in this song, because why not? It's Asriel's stars, sparkles. It adds to that. It's got some vinyl like sweeping between left and right ear really fast. So and then the drums are actually I use two sets of drums here. I have the acoustic ones, and then I have this set of percussion. And then I have those paired up together. And then this thing turned out really cool. Yeah, I think the percussion just does, the extra percussion just does that the whole time. But, other things that I do here. These silly ass sound effects that go with the thing. And these, like, these, those go with the chord changes, so. Just adds a little more. Then I have this granular sample from Zave that I just sort of I vocoded to this, and it just sort of added some cool textures. Yeah, that's about all that's happening today. Fun fact, the only reason why this little lick here is on bass is because I could not figure out, I couldn't play it very well on guitar. It would have been a guitar lick, except I'm not a good guitarist. Need I remind you? So I do the same fuzz bit crush thing on my vocals that I do on like the bass and whatnot.
Entry 6.
And I also like add a whole lot of formant, like ridiculous amounts of formant.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Because why not? I wanted it to sound like braggadocious and childish and...
I felt lost at least a million times. But I don't stay down, no I can't let this get to my head. Whoa, I don't think there's need to justify.
Also, there's the tiniest amount of vocoding here too. So,
Just feeling alright.
like,
I felt lost at least a million times.
so there's that too.
But I don't stay down, no I don't stay down, no I can't let this get to my head. Whoa, I don't think there's need to
There's a lot of just
justify.
octaves on these vocals.
Just feeling alright, ignoring the shit that I've said. Don't let regrets corrupt you. You only ever get one life.
I love the harmonies I did for this part.
You only ever get one life. Don't let regrets corrupt your mind. I'd be something stupid.
Fun fact about this chorus, I wrote it with my mom at a coffee shop. So...
Some friends made life feel alright to live in. Feeling alright. Now instead of being glued to my bed,
just some extra layers of like harmonies.
found some friends who made life feel alright to live in. Feel more alive, no more dreading the alley within. So, you only.
Alright, and then that brings... Oh yeah, fun fact. Silly little thing. I sampled sticky keys in this song.
Many years ago.
It's really hard to hear it, but I have this little vocal sample. I use it here too on this pre-chorus. But I use it here for like a little... I even do the atelephobia thing here on this verse with the reverse guitars. So. Okay, moving on. The bridge which was voiced by my good friend Cassie Kestrel.
Let me tell you, I come in like state,
who is very hard on themselves for no reason. It turned out so well. This chord progression is Oh my god, this is fucking... It's good! You did good! Yeah, this is entirely major 7th chords.
Let me tell you, I come in my state of sipping.
Which was inspired by God Stained by Quadeca. And then I have an almond break here, because... not almond break, drum and bass break. Another Undertale sample here. These crickets are from Undertale's files. I'm pretty sure it's just a stock cricket sound effect, but I got it from Undertale. So, and then vocals. Just, you know, I wanted to add a little bit of humor because.
Oh shit!
Yeah, just because, you know, humor is funny. Did you know? Yeah, that's about it. This song sounds complicated. It's not that complicated. It's just it just sounds very distorted. Okay, do I want to end stream now? Is there any other like Q&A? Any other questions y'all have? Because do need to care for my dog, and the stream's already been running for 2 hours, so I think that's a decent amount of time to, I don't know, stream something like this. But yeah, I probably should. So thank you guys. Thank you everybody. It's been 2 hours, Olivia. Yes. It's crazy. Yeah. So I guess I probably should, because I do gotta take care of my dog. But thank you to everybody who attended the stream. I'm gonna gather some clips from this stream, hopefully use them to post on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, because, you know, gotta get the views somehow. Just kidding. I mean, yes, I do. I want people to hear my music because we worked very hard on it, and I think it's really hard to discover indie music right now. I think the easiest way to discover something is by hearing about it from a friend or a friend of a friend. And that is, I mean, my friends have shared this around, but I think the second best way is just, you know, gotta post TikToks or Instagram Reels or whatever, which is not my favorite thing to do, but if it, I don't know, shares the word a little bit, I guess it's just what you gotta do. This is my debut album, so it's a slow process. It will, I don't know, I feel like over time I'm gonna get a lot better at this. I'm gonna have much more plans. I'm gonna have plans to actually, you know, like, I'm gonna know what I'm doing for promotion. I'm gonna have all of the art that I need done in advance, and not rush the album within the last month. Who would do that? But yeah, I don't know. This album was a fun experiment. I think it came out really well. And we've made it through. We got through 6 of the 12 songs on this stream. So next time I stream, which is either going to be this weekend or next week, hopefully we can tackle those final 6 songs, which you know, those are the those are the intense ones. So buckle up, folks, because we got Watch Me and Mothership and Keep Pushing Through coming up. So it's gonna get interesting. But yeah, I guess that's it for tonight. I love you guys. Stream Alienus.